I'm Lily.
And I'm Kiev. And,
And
welcome to the portal of our minds. Om.
Whoa.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another piece of our minds. And today what we have for you is, why do we follow so willingly? And what we mean by that is this system that we were born into. Why do we follow it so blindly? Well, guess what? We're here to break it down and ask you guys what you think today. So first things first, why do we follow so blind? You want to go? You raise your hand? All right. Popcorn, Reed, Lily.
Because we are like monkey see, monkey do's. That's literally, I'm not even trying to be offensive. That's what we are. As humans, as we're kids, we grow up seeing what our parents do and we follow after them. And their parents follow what their parents did and their parents follow what their parents did. And a lot of times we're not really thinking for ourselves. We're just following what other people are doing. It's what we do.
But how do we truly know that that's right for us as individuals? What we are told and what we're handed to. Okay, so for example, when it comes to the vaccines that they give us for these sicknesses, how do we truly know that we can trust what they're giving us is actually gonna cure that sickness and not induce something else to bring in more money for them?
We're literally guinea pigs for this stuff. Like, we are the guinea pigs, and we just blindly, like, well, not all of us, but a lot of us, especially the older generation, think that the government is trying to help whenever it's clear to us that the government is doing nothing but destroying us and making very fatal decisions for humanity.
All this stuff that they're putting into our body, regardless if it's food, vaccinations, medicine, what the stuff we watch,
the pharmaceuticals, like the only reason the pharmaceuticals is a thing is for money.
It's all poison.
A lot of the doctors won't even tell you that a lot of medication that we're paying for can be healed by just fasting and even meditating.
Like, how do we truly know what they're putting into our food? Like, it comes from a factory. They could be doing anything. There could be someone on the factory line who just ultimately hates their job and just hawking loogies in the food that they gets packaged and let it seal up and put it in. And then you come here like, oh, let me see the Best By date. Okay, cool. That one's good. Delicious. Tastes like eggs though, but it's chips. Someone's breakfast was in that chip bag.
Someone's breakfast.
Like, it's just so insane to me how we could just put all our faith into all these other people without truly knowing what we're ingesting into our body, what we're consuming.
All these stories, putting our faith into all these stories that other people are
telling us. We're not firsthand there witnessing it. But the one way we can be firsthand when it comes to everything is if everybody were to be consciously aware and we could all connect with our consciousnesses. And that way we can truly get to know why everything is the way it is and what we can do to truly benefit humanity rather than, oh, let's just try this out. Let's just try it out. See how it affects the world, the population.
I think it's time to stop following so blindly. Like, why do we all think it's okay to do all these things? Like, even school, like, why do we all just blindly accept that this is what we need to do and this is what is good for our children when it's destroying a lot of children and destroying a lot of souls? Not destroying souls, but like, for example, Albert Einstein, everybody knows Albert Einstein, he was a genius. He said that school made him dread science, like dread researching science and dread studying science to the point where he went a while without even doing anything science related because it just drained him. He was like, no, thank you. Like,
this isn't right.
School teaches us to dread studying and school teaches us to dread learning.
If knowledge is power, why do we hate studying so much?
We're supposed to be philosophers here. We're supposed to be going through and researching the stuff that intrigues us, not what the government wants us to know.
To learn.
Like, literally, like, so the curriculum is just it's ridiculous. I mean, school, yes, it is good for a lot of people, especially people who want to become, certain things like a firefighter or, those things. Like, yes, school can be very beneficial and we do learn stuff in school. But the thing is just the fact that most of what we do learn in school is not even relevant. And it's a waste of time.
It really is. And to be born into a world that we call free is not free when everything in your life is already set in stone from the moment you're born. Like, why walk the trail that hundreds of people have already walked? Why wouldn't you want to branch off in thousands, millions, billions? Like, there's so many other trails that you could take down. Why do we have to follow, oh, you got to go to school till 12th grade, and oh, you got to go to college, and if you don't go to college, you have to get a job. If you go to college, you have to get a degree, and all this other stuff. But it's your own life. It is your own singular life. It's not everybody else's life. Your life isn't other people's life. Your life is your own. Follow what you want and what you desire. Like, it's really infuriating sometimes when just to hear, and after being aware of what we had to go through. Like, I didn't think of it when I was going through school, like, oh, we're not supposed to be like this. Like, but no, it felt normal because, like, we grew up in this. This is what we were told.
Does. Yeah.
It was comfortable,
That's one thing that's always really intrigued me is, like, how, at least in America, we're said to be free, right?
Why do we have to abide by so many rules and laws?
That somebody decided to make up. And yes, a lot of them were made up for our safety.
If this is a land of the free, why do I have to pay the government taxes?
But that's also, like I've said before and heard before, safety is a code word for control. Because, oh, we're going to control you, but to keep you safe. But is it keeping our mental safe? Because that's the most important thing, is our mental. Because our body is nothing if our mental is all messed up, which a lot of us are living in chaos. And I've heard this before. We're supposed to be the smartest mammals out here. We're supposed to be the smartest. We're at the top of the food chain, all this, except we're the only creatures that A, have to pay to live, B, are all in chaos and all
we're constantly
like
killing each other.
Yeah, like the fish, the birds, the deer, they're all living their life. We're making life a little bit hellish for them with our cars and stuff and polluting all the earth. But, like, we're the only creatures here that are kind of like, I don't know what to do. Whenever everything else just seems to be living their lives, eating stuff, growing.
It doesn't seem like we're part of the natural order. If you really look at it, it doesn't seem like humanity is a part of a natural order with the way everything goes and the way everything's ran. It doesn't seem natural at all. I don't understand how people can be born in this world and live their entire lives being like, oh yeah, this is how life's supposed to be. But it's not. We have to, I don't know if this is the same in all countries or states, but at least in the state I'm in, when you give birth, you have to pay for the birth certificate. Like, you have to pay to have a baby. Like, well, obviously having a baby costs a lot of money. Which is crazy. You have to pay for the birth
certificate. You have to pay for all this stuff.
You have to pay to die.
Tens and thousands of dollars you have to pay to do all these things. For what? Like, why?
They have death taxes, right?
Yes.
That's insane. You can't leave this earth until you have this amount of money to pay for you to die.
Why are we all just accepting this? Why are we just like, yep, that's the way it goes? Like, there are so many, I just spit, sorry. There are so many of us and we're so powerful and we just are just like bowing down to these
people who call themselves our leaders. They call themselves our leaders.
All they care about is money.
There's so many people in this world who don't accept the world leaders for who they are because they didn't make that decision. It was already set in stone. The government already knows who's going to become the next president. The government already knows who's going to be the next freaking leader of their country and whatnot. Like,
he's right.
Our votes really don't matter when it comes down to it if you really think about it. Because if it did, life would be completely different. All the stuff that we as civilians complain about, say that this isn't fair, this isn't right, would have already gotten taken care of if the person in power came off of our vote. Like, they're doing what they want for themselves to keep their image solid.
Right.
And we're out here suffering.
Take our dollar bills, for example. Those people on our dollar bills, I just learned this a while ago, but the people on our dollar bills, they all owned slaves. They were all slave owners. and we just look at them on our dollar bills, and we praise these
Our
dollar bills. We praise this paper. But what is it teaching us?
Like, it's literally like throwing slavery in our faces.
Money is energy, you know? So, like, however you look at it, however you perceive it, is what's going to come back to you when it comes to money. It's just interesting to me, the negative things that it's in money. I mean, there's positive things, of course. Money is very positive, but it's also what is running the world and what is keeping people in control in today's age.
And that's
it's also what's freeing people, but mainly what's keeping people
back
in control.
In the old days, they didn't have money. They had trading. They just traded. What happened to that? Why can't we trade?
Things that were actually worth value, like potatoes. Like, you can eat a potato.
You can't eat
but
money.
You can't eat a paper
The end comes,
bill.
you're going to have
it's so weird.
2
it's so
pounds of potatoes. Would you rather have 2 pounds of money or 2 pounds of potatoes when the world ends? Money's not going to get you nowhere. Because guess what? The economic system's going to go straight down the drain while we're out here trying to scavenge for food and figure out how to grow food and whatnot. We should be out here growing food all day, every day, and trading it with our neighbors, trading these different things.
We were never taught in school how to live off land. We were never taught.
The land we were born into.
This earth is so abundant. Like, you can get a piece of land and grow so much food and live in abundance.
You don't need that much land to live, but it makes it a whole lot better when you got a land.
Yeah. But land now is also so expensive.
Why is land expensive? It's no one owns the land. Yes and no. When you have your property, yes, you own your land, but like, why does the government own so much land that's just like, you walk into the forest like, oh yeah, that person over there, they own all this, you can't go in there. But why? It's a tree. It was here before anybody else was. Doesn't it have a say in if it's owned or not? It's like...
Right.
I mean, there's pros and cons to a lot of things, and there are pros and cons to this. There are some things that are beneficial to following because there are people who are more knowledgeable in certain things. But it all comes down to whether or not you're questioning what is actually being presented to you. If you can question and grasp and understand why it's happening, it makes it a whole lot easier. But if you're coming up with the same facts that have been said for the last 50 years, that doesn't...
We're evolving.
Things change every single day, which means there should really be no rules other than like daily rules, like, hey, this is happening today, you probably shouldn't go do that. But you have your own free will, so we're gonna let you. But if you need something, call us up, we'll come help you or something like that, you know? It doesn't have to be so like a clean slate of walking down the same path that all these other mofos are out here walking.
Exactly.
Because like, oh, what about that colored leaf to the right? I want to go pick that. Nope, stay on the path. You can't go do that. You can't go do that. You can't follow your dreams. Go pick that leaf.
We're raised in like this very physical world, not really being taught about the internal world. That is the most important.
Very much so.
But we could probably go on and on for hours about this.
We could totally make another video about this.
Totally. Do a part 2, but I think we said what we need to say, so.
If you have any questions, drop them in the comments.
Let us know.
And on that note, peace.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.